Let's continue.
Considered a threat to its own government.
But let's talk about. But
let me just finish.
Sure.
Israel, Hamas took over in 2006.
Right.
And they immediately started shelling Israel. So they sent on average 2,000 rockets a year on civilian populations. And their charter and their public statements day after day are it's against Islamic law for them to even negotiate with Israel except as a ruse. It says that in their charter. The only satisfaction for them, the only goal, is to annihilate Israel and kill every Jew, not just in Israel, but all around the world. So Israel, instead of going in and attacking, if Mexico elected a communist government and the communist government began sending shells onto civilian populations in San Antonio and Houston and say, we're going to retake Texas, which they have a legitimate claim to, we're going to retake it. How long would it take us to go in there? It wouldn't take us very long. We would go in and we would do whatever it took to take out the people who are sending the shells. And Israel, instead of doing that, Israel did something extraordinary, which is it invested in an Iron Dome, which is to defend itself again, just to live with missiles. There's thousands, tens of thousands of Israelis that have, on that part of Israel that have been raised in bomb shelters. Who would put up with that? There's nobody in the world.
No one.
Okay, but what about the 500,000 Palestinians in concentration camps? Are we not talking about that, or are we just gonna ignore that fact? No, this is. I feel like my blood pressure is gonna go through the roof.
No, for sure. My vision's starting to get blurry.
Dude, I swear I can't believe this guy. Like, look. I've heard a lot of people talk about this subject, but I think this is the most ignorant I've ever seen anybody speak on this topic.
Yeah.
Because everybody else, all the other politicians, they'll tell you it's a more complicated thing. Israel's defending itself, has a right to defend itself. But they would never dare to go into this detail and basically say Israel didn't do anything. Do we forget that the war started way before 2006 and that Hamas came to life because of the murders that Israel committed? If Israel was not there killing Palestinians, Hamas would have never existed. And also, and other people too fail to understand this, that whether you support Hamas or you don't, that's a side story to discuss later. If you were living in Palestine right now, there's been so many clips that I've seen young kids looking at their dead mother's body. Okay, we're men here, right? Real stuff here. Imagine, God forbid, somebody you live in a society where your mother, your father, your brother, your sister, your aunt, your uncle, your cousins, everybody, they got murdered, and you saw it happen right in front of your eyes. Dude, in your head, you have as a child, all you're thinking about is, I can't wait until I get old, be able to hold a gun and go shit on all these other people that created this chaos for me in my life. I need to take back what's mine. And so, why are we ignoring that concept? It pisses me off when people want to just sit there and point fingers on Hamas did this, Hamas did that, Hamas did this, Hamas did that. Sure, maybe they've done certain things and I don't know. I haven't really looked into the whole entire history of how they, pull their military and what they do to kind of create the chaos they've created. But it's still aside from the fact, they're doing whatever it takes just to survive. It's crazy because we used to talk. People used to talk about Hitler and the crazy things he did, and how terrible in history he was. Well, Netanyahu today kills more people daily than Hitler ever did in Germany. Right now, maybe the total number of people was larger, sure, but it's just because they probably had more time and power and more things to do, right? But yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know. I'm just going on a complete rant right now, but it's just so annoying to me because anybody, any human being that sees their family get annihilated in front of their eyes will do anything it freaking takes to go back after them and do and kill the people who killed their family. I mean, have you guys seen the freaking movie Taken? not to bring this up as a joke, but when the whole popular scene, right, where he goes, "I'm gonna find you, I'm gonna kill you." It's a natural human instinct, dude. And so what do you want me to just like sit there and just accept it and go, oh yeah, no, you know what? Hey, let me offer up my second sister. You guys forgot her. Why don't you just shoot her while you're at it? It's like, come on, where's the common sense? Any 2 cents on that?
Yeah, I know. He also talks about how like Egypt's not accepting them and everyone else is not accepting them, right? Well, the thing about it is like you control the Egyptian border. Like you meaning Israel. Israel controls the Egyptian border as well, right? So it's not only just like an Egyptian thing to say yes or no. Second thing too, it's like if you have your lineage living in that land, you're gonna want to stay there to continue on that heritage, to continue on that bloodline. It's much more personal than just a home, right? You're gonna want to try to defend it as much as you possibly can. So Israel is over here bombing and just using white phosphorus and just basically creating and doing openly all of these war crimes to these poor people, and then be like, we're completely fine. We're doing this completely legal, and we're just targeting only Hamas members. You know what I'm saying? And Hamas, they're the problem. They're the ones who are using the individuals as human shields. Boom, they are completely wiped off clean for all of the injustices that they're doing to the people.
The thing is, not to cut you off there, but on that philosophy of like, if somebody attacks your land, you're going to sit there and defend it. That's something us Middle Easterns understand. But with all due respect, the Western society, the Western world does not understand.
I'm sorry, now, yes. But back then, America was America, bro. I'm talking about like in World War I, World War II.
Yeah. But
right?
now that doesn't exist.
I get you. But like, that's always been around. I mean, Japan and the Moguls, for example. The Moguls tried to mess around with Japan. They found out, right? They could not even conquer it because the people, the samurais, they could not get past that. So they defended it. They just didn't end up just sitting there and just getting conquered, right? See? So like, Israel is saying that they're doing what they do and they're just trying to like ethically take this. Right? Israel has never done this and they've never done that. They're doing everything according to the law and stuff like that. It's complete BS. They built an Iron Dome. Oh, dude, good job. You mean America built, the Iron Dome? They paid it for you.
No, what's interesting is I don't even think they've ever really tried to say, hey, what we're doing is moral. What they keep pushing for is the idea is every time they're getting called out for something immoral, they go, oh, but look at Hamas for being more immoral. You know what I mean? So it's like.
So you agree that you're still immoral.
So it's almost like they defend their position by saying, look, he's worse than us. You know what I mean? Rather than them saying like, oh, everything's within the confines of international law. So I don't think they've ever really said that. You know. But yeah, I mean, I just wanted to say, similar to what you were saying, just wanted to comment on what he said so far. It's like some Israelis grew up in a bomb shelter, like. Oh, imagine if you had to deal with that. It's like, dude, at least the bomb shelter had food and water and electricity.
And it was safe.
Yeah, and it was safe. And it was like they still had access to their basic necessities. How many people of Gaza, even before this whole 85-day situation started, how many people in Gaza were living in the worst humanitarian conditions possible? Those people in Israel living in the bomb shelter, they didn't have flipping organizations all around the globe raising money and charities to support their lifestyle living in a bomb shelter. Gaza, for the past God knows how long, has been on one of the, like pretty much on the, like number one on the humanitarian aid list. Right? Why? Because the living conditions have always been garbage. Bomb shelter or not, it's not something to compare.